Hey guys, I'm gonna do a really quick one take kind of thing going through the gunmetal update. Gonna be talking about everything, but focusing mainly on the weapon changes and also the performance enhancements and all that stuff. Um, so there's some lore in it. I didn't even read that. I'm still not reading that. Uh, the the campaign is cool. I'm happy that Valve is doing that. It makes people play the game. I don't have money, so I'm not gonna be doing that. But I love the contracts. I love the weapons. Like all of these look cool. This guy in particular. Let me find it. Where is it? Where did it go? Is it not gonna show up? Is it gonna do that to me? There's definitely a rocket launcher. Here it is. This thing is freaking cool, and I want it. But I know it's like a light blue. But anyways, so you have all your freaking cosmetics and paints and not paints, skins, all that stuff. That's great. Uh, Contract stamps, same thing. It's like it's cool, but I'm not I'm not particularly interested. Let me go offline real quick so those don't show up. New maps. I've played on some of these new maps. I've played on Snowy Coast, or yeah, Snowy Coast. That was a pretty fun map. Um, Vanguard I played on for the first time. I'd never played it in Highland or anything. It was a pretty okay map as far as 5CP goes. I'm not a big fan of 5CP in pub play, but it was okay. Didn't play High Pass, didn't play Landfall, um, but they look nice. So there's that. Taunts, the the just very inaccurate depiction of bagpipes, but that's okay. Here we go. Here we go. This is what I care about. um, so I'm just gonna basically read through these and talk about their impact on competitive in my eyes. Um, the base weapon switch speed. I don't get the need for this. I'm like pretty indifferent about it. It doesn't change too much in terms of balancing. Like it makes shotgun pocket a little more viable. Um, because it's you can switch to it and clean up a little faster. It's like just a really fast 1-2 punch, but other than that, it really doesn't change much. It just means that everybody's gonna have to relearn their muscle memory for it. The Upon spawning, to me, this just kind of lowers the skill ceiling, but at the same time, it doesn't really make a difference. Um, so it's yeah, like it's nice, it's convenient, but it doesn't. I don't know. Updated various weapon descriptions for better detail their functionality. That's nice. That'll help new players. Doesn't really affect competitive too much though. Okay, it's kind of getting into the big balance of weapons and all that. The panic attack no longer auto fires when fully loaded. Shots can be held and released at will. That's like, that's okay. It's I don't imagine the panic attack being picked up and used regularly now because of this, but it's a little more viable now. The reserve shooter no longer blasts or no longer boosts all around switch speed. Instead, boosts switch speed by 20% and switch from by 15. And I want to say it basically is the same as before because of the faster overall switch speed. Um, and then it doesn't mini crit people jumping, just stuff that gets knocked back or whatever. But to me, that's not the broken part. The broken part with this weapon is the shooting them up with a rocket, or even worse, air blasting them up with the pyro, and then getting free like 100 whatever damage to them. I don't like that. I don't like this weapon as a whole. Is the thing. And this doesn't really fix the broken part of it. It nerfs the weapon, sure, but it doesn't fix anything. The half Zatoichi, or however it's pronounced, Zatoichi, it's now considered a sword. Uh, the way they changed it, it's still really gimmicky for competitive, and I don't envision it being used that much. It's more viable now. Like it's less of an idiot play, but it's still not particularly good. Pocket pistol is a little better now. It after that nerf where it got rid of the health buff, it's pretty useless. But so Mad Milk, for the Mad Milk, like this is the kind of thing that I love in this update. The extinguishing an ally will reduce cooldown by 20%. Stuff that promotes team play is super good, and I'm happy that Valve is doing it. Um, the Rap Assassin is now 42% more festive. I hate this weapon now. It's really dumb. They buffed a weapon that was already pretty freaking good, that was already banned in some leagues. Um, it gives the scout another weapon that's really good, like that does damage. Like, is like what's one thing that you're like, okay, so what's the most overpowered class in the game? This is Valve headquarters reenactment. What's the most overpowered class in the game? Oh, it's the scout. With 185 buff, he just destroys. Okay. You know what he doesn't have? Projectiles with splash damage. And I get that it isn't like a lot of splash damage, but still, like, there's no reason for that. That's silly. I don't like that. The soldier, the beggar's bazooka. I like that they nerfed it without getting rid of what makes it fun. That's really good on them. The conch. I like that they buffed the conch because, like, it's the same thing as the Mad Milk. It promotes team play. It promotes the use of, but the health regen is a passive thing that helps the player, but because of this helpful thing, more players are going to use the conch, which is going to help their team and make the game more team-based, which I love. I love that. They fixed the base jumper thing, doesn't really matter. The market gardener thing. This is one of the things that I was really frustrated with in this update, is that this serves no purpose. The market gardener's cons come not in its stats, but in how it's used. A market gardener on paper is just, better than the shotgun. Or not the shotgun. The market gardener on paper is better than the shovel, like the stock shovel. Like, duh. But if you think about it, the market gardener promotes a play style that will get you killed. And so it doesn't need a nerf, because anybody that's using the market gardener playing against anybody that isn't just brain dead is going to die after a kill or 2 kills if they get lucky. And so that I don't get this. It's just, it makes one of the silly fun weapons in the game, it just makes it less good and underpowered. It was kind of like underpowered before, but now it's just completely worthless, and I don't like that. For the airstrike, same thing as the beggar's bazooka. They nerfed it without making it terrible and without getting rid of what makes it fun. So I love that. I like when Valve does that. They do a good job with that most of the time. For the sniper, the cleaner's carbine thing is neat. It doesn't. I mean, it's not often that. I'm not envisioning this playstyle being used much, where you're playing the Call of Duty sniper with your SMG and then you get your sick nasty headshots or your mini crits or whatever. It's not like sniper mini crits are pretty worthless in competitive because it's just a few more damage on a no scope. It's more damage if you're just gonna keep using the carbine, which is stupid. And it's like I'm trying to think, words are hard. And the swords or the kukri or whatever, whichever one gives you the mini crits, that's so risky and competitive that it's kind of pointless. So this weapon still doesn't, to me, really serve a purpose. It's still way better, in my opinion, to be using the Jarate or the Cozy Camper or the Razorback, but it's whatever. As for the Cozy Camper, they buffed it which is ridiculous to me because it was already overpowered. It it is the weapon that undoes every other class's one defense mechanism against a sniper. And for sniper mains, I'm sure they love it, but I I don't agree with the mechanic. It's a bad mechanic to me. The the jitter that you get when you take damage should not be gotten rid of. And so then they just quadrupled the regen rate. And so now everybody's going to be using the Cozy Camper and not using weapons that are going to help out their team, like the Girardi, which Valve also made a little better, which I like. Promoting the team, just like with the Mad Milk, and just like with the Conch. I do like that. Um, for the Pyro, um, Pyros like to collect rainbows. I see. This is the thing. Like, these are in the gameplay changes. This to me doesn't really serve as a gameplay change that is, like worthwhile. And I'm gonna put my cursor up. I realize that I have that off, so you can see my cursor. There we go. So Pyros like to collect rainbows. That's awesome. Great. I'm so happy that they put that in front of the most important line in all of the patch notes, in my opinion. Extinguishing teammate will return 20 health to the Pyro. I love that. That's awesome. Pyro got a little bit of a buff in this line to kind of to brace the Pyro mains for the nerfage that is happening below. But that's good. It's the same thing with all the other stuff. It's promoting teamwork, and I can really respect that Valve is doing that. Valve kind of fixed air blasts a little bit, which is awesome. I'm really that's a very good thing. If you don't think that's a good thing, just leave a comment on YouTube and I'll explain it to you. Air blast is dumb. It should be nerfed more. The base flamethrower's damage fall off over distance has been decreased, resulting in higher output at range. That's good. Kind of buffs one of the worst flamethrowers, which is the ones that do more fire damage and less other stuff, like the stock. Like, that's going to really help the stock out. It's also kind of a buff to all the other ones as well, if I'm reading that right. As for the degreaser, good Valve. Valve listened to Banny. I'm happy. I am very happy about that. It is now not the go-to flamethrower, especially in competitive. Definitely not in competitive. In competitive, you're going to see a lot more of the stock flamethrower now, which is good in my eyes. The degreaser is a good weapon, but to me it's an overpowered weapon, and I don't like it. I don't like playing against it, and I don't really like playing with it because I just feel kind of bad. But yeah. So I'm happy with this change. As somebody that used to play Pyro a good amount of, a decent amount, like I can kind of feel for the Pyro mains and how this might not be great for them specifically, but for the game overall, it's good. The Flog got buffed, which in competitive this means nothing to me. In pubs, it's just going to be more frustrating. But as for competitive, this makes no difference. If a Flog Pyro manages to get up to the then you're just playing against idiots, just spamming fire, and the other team is just taking it. Extinguisher got buffed. That's good. Kind of helps with the degreaser nerf a little bit. But yeah, Pyro got taken down a notch, which is a silly way to say that. I realize after saying it, but I think it's good. I think that's a good thing. Pyro is and always has been one of the more frustrating classes to play against. And it's just the nature of the class. And I think that the class was almost kind of a mistake as a whole. And I think that these nerfs kind of put it back in its place as a support class and not as not support, but as like a kind of passive offense class. And kind of serving as a support role on the offense side of your team. So yeah, I like it. As for the medic, they buffed the heck out of medic, which I'm confused about, but I'm also happy. I To me, it's almost like they wanted more people in matchmaking to want to play medic, and because of that, they just like, what can we do to make people want to play medic? We gotta get 1 in 6 people playing medic every game. So they just kind of threw a bunch of buffs at it. Um, the higher health regen rate when healing, that promotes teamwork. It's awesome. You're gonna finally have less idiot battle medics running around just picking their noses, not healing anybody. I love that. That just makes me happy. During setup time, Ubercharge build rate is now increased by 3 times. This is nice, like so that way the medic doesn't have to be chasing around idiots constantly healing to build up their Ubercharge. I like this. It doesn't really mean much, but whatever. For the amputator, this doesn't mean anything. It's just a different bind. Um, Healing done, and this is a good change for the amputator. It makes the amputator less terrible. Um, so yeah, the the vaccinator. I mean, it's good. These changes are good. They removed the 10% health regen on proper resist, which is whatever. Um, Added slight Ubercharge build on proper resist. That's good. Increased Ubercharge rate even more. That's good. They reduced overhealed Ubercharge build rate from 33% to 66%. As this penalty is applied after base increased healing, an overhealed patient is now 33% more effective, which is fine. Like they buffed the vaccinator a little bit. Great. I don't. It's probably pretty decent now for like desperation last holds, but I don't envision it becoming like a standard medigun. Crusader's crossbow got a buff. It was the best weapon in the game, and it got a buff. But because it's the best weapon in the game, but it's not like a fragging weapon typically, I'm okay with it getting a buff. It isn't like it's an overpowered weapon that makes the game unfun for other people. It just kind of raises the skill ceiling for medics, and I love that. So it got a buff, and yeah, lovely. Now there is no excuse not to use the crossbow. There's no reason. Um, like unless you just want to have fun with needles, and that's more power to you. For the quick fix changes, they fixed cases where quick fix overcharged players could still be affected by certain knockback effects. So I mean that's just a patch, which is not really, you know, gameplay changes. I guess it's a gameplay change. It's not like a stats list. This is just a bug fix thing. Players can no longer capture objective points while under the effects of quick fix overcharge. Thank golly goodness. That to me, that to me was just the most broken weapon like mechanic ever. Where you can just like Uber a pyro onto like Gully Wash last from water, so you're just like coming up from behind the point and just air blast them off, get a ridiculous amount of heals into that pyro, and then you just win the round. It's stupid. So they got rid of that. I'm happy. Spy, this is just a cosmetic change. For the Dead Ringer, they made Dead Ringer a little better. They made Spicicle, like they fixed Spicicle. So yeah, Spy just kind of got a nice little pat on the head. Just a you do you Spy kind of update, which is fine. Spy is pretty balanced right now after Gunmetal. Like I'm pretty happy with the Spy class. For Heavy, they changed a few things. The Fists of Steel are like they're not better or worse now. They're just different a little bit. Nothing really huge. The Guns of Running Urgently got a little bit of a nerf. The Warrior Spirit is just like I don't know. It's weird now. It's I don't even know. It's just odd. It's like almost mini crits, but not quite mini crits that you take and give. I don't know. The eviction notice is just like a weirder Gloves of Running Urgently now. So they just changed a bunch of the melee weapons, which is it's fine. It doesn't really mean anything. Like heavy melee weapons, while they're important, like especially for, gloves running urgently and the Fists of Steel in terms of competitive, this doesn't really mean much. Um, as for the Demo Man, I hate that they have gotten to where Demo Man / Demo Knight is a thing. Like, this upsets me, but whatever. Um, and anyways, I'm probably gonna do a video on that. I don't like that. Shield Bash now deals damage. I honestly, I've read through everything else. I haven't even read through this because I could care less about Demo Knight. But here, you're gonna be able to experience me going through and figuring out how I feel about this stuff as I do it. Shield Bash now deals damage at all ranges scaled by distance. Whatever, like, that's great. Melee boosts and charges remove debuffs. This is kind of silly, but whatever. None of that matters, honestly. All swords now have slower deploy and holster speeds compared to base weapons, in addition to their increased melee range. So I'm assuming that swords now pull out just like they did, but everything else in the game pulls out a little faster. So that's whatever. Doesn't matter much. Splendid Screen. They remove the ability to deal charge impact damage at any range, now native to all shields. Oh, so they just... I think it still has it. I think that's what that means. Increased recharge rate by 50%, increased blast resistance from 15 to 20%. Okay, good, because the Splendid Scream is pretty bad, so it needed a buff, like, relative to the other shields. The Tide Turner now grants mini crits instead of full crits on Charge Bash. That's probably a good thing. It reduces resistances to 15%. Or it reduced resistance. Okay, that's fine. Tide Turner got a small nerf, which is fine because it was like the best shield ever, so that's fine. As for the Charge and Targe, it got a reduced blast resistance and removed fire immunity. That's good. It got a nerf. It needed it. Demo can't just like tank damage now. That's great. I don't even know how to say this. I don't even know what weapon this is. Hold up. That's not even a joke. I wish I could say that's a joke. Oh, it's this thing. And it's... Like, there's so many swords. I don't even care. What does it do? It's 0.5. No random crits. Minus 15 health. Oh, so it's just the... Okay, I know what that weapon is. I'm smart. Removes charge duration bonus. Restores 25 health on kill. Removes health penalty now. Increases damage taken while active by 15%. Okay, whatever. Like, doesn't matter to me. It's just a sword. Like, you're gonna be useless if you're playing sword Demo Man, regardless of what you do in competitive, so it's whatever. Persian Persuader. I like this mechanic. Added penalties of reduced primary and secondary ammo. Like, that's fine. Doesn't matter much because anybody using this stupid weapon is going to be a stupid Demo Knight. Ammo pickups now replenish charge. Like, see, exactly. Now gains charge meter on hit. Exactly. Like, so this is just like stupid Demo Knight weapon now. Great. I'm going to do a video about this and actually talk about it. Quickie Bomb Launcher. Got a buff. That's good. It needed a buff. It was pretty underpowered. It looks pretty viable now with that. Like, that's a decent weapon. I'm not saying that it's going to be like the default weapon, but could definitely be a decent weapon. The Ullapool Caber. Melee damage. Okay, so they. Okay, that's good. 20% fire rate penalty. Okay, so Ullapool Caber is harder to use now. I can get behind that. And the Loose Cannon, reduced projectile speed, now a visible attribute. Reduced cannon impact damage from 60 to 50. Damage also scales with distance. And reduced knockback from cannon hit. Knockback strength is now similar to Air Blast. Okay, a few things. So, something having more knockback than Air Blast was just inherently wrong. They fixed that. But in fixing the Loose Cannon, this is a buff to the Loose Cannon. Because it's easier now. and I'm hearing this secondhand, from some pretty decent players that I talked to about this. But like I didn't test it myself. But they say it's now easier to get double donks because the people don't get knocked around so much by the cannon, which is so sad because I don't want that to be a thing. I'll probably do some tests on it, and if it's true or false, I'll make a video on it, or at least do an annotation or something on this one. I'll see. But if that's the case, engineer got a nerf. It needed a nerf. Nothing drastic got like removed, so it's whatever. After removing a sapper from a sentry, there is now a 0.5 second delay before the sentry is active again. That's good. Right now, it's actually a 5.0 second delay, as this guy will attest to. Big Uncle Dane. He's pretty upset about that. Not upset, but he's complaining about it on stream for good reason. Like, that's silly. Sentries brought into a respawn room no longer detonate outside of man versus machine. That's cool, I guess. Like, it's not particularly useful, other than just like, oh crap, I accidentally walked into spawn, there goes my gun. Which actually, I think Ash did that in ESEA playoffs. So it would have helped him. You're a little late, Valve, but that's okay. For the Jag, they like nerfed the Jag. The Jag, it wasn't way better. Like I don't know. Like that's a really big nerf. Like a very big nerf. So Jag is now not very great in Highlander, at least. In sixes, it doesn't matter because nobody plays Spy ever. So, for the Rescue Ranger, they nerfed it barely. You know, like it's not a huge deal. Just general stuff. Smith's begun, whatever. Smith's mystery, who cares? Strange. Okay, the strange count transfer. That's pretty cool. Like you can. That I feel like is gonna help the economy selling those new skins and all that crap because people can keep their precious strange kills on them. They updated the case opening algorithm. Ooh, going forward, players now less likely to get duplicate items from. Oh, that's neat. That's nice. Updated several weapon sounds with consistency fixes. Lovely. Updated the score. I hate this. It's stupid and I hate it. Like I just changed the option back on my thing, but it's just like a dumbing down of TF2. Like I don't care if everybody's like 4 bars. It's not like I'm playing like Candy Crush, you know? Like I want to know what their pings are, you know? And it's just kind of like I call it like an update for the mouth breathers, you know? Like it's stupid. That's dumb and I hate it. Moving on. Updated several weapon descriptions. I like that. The gifted by tag can be removed. Whatever it does, I don't care. Fixed a bug on the man versus machine thing. Whatever, it's man versus machine. No offense. Fixed a bug where unusual slider is not. Okay, who cares? All strange parts can now be applied to strange co. Who cares? Strange parts added to backpack context menu for whatever. Paints now display both market and Manco store prices in the backpack. Okay. Trading. Added a case of create opening animation and backpack view, whatever. Fixed seeing a fire texture on some of the stuff in DX8, but not all of it, I don't think. Which is whatever, because I made the switch to DX9 because of the you need to have DX9 requirement, so I'm getting used to it now before matchmaking hits. Updated the model / material for whatever that's called and made it more trading stuff. Players can no longer. Oh, this is stupid. This is one that I'm upset about. This is just like intentionally lowering the skill ceiling of the game. Like this is just making it harder to be good at the game. Like this is something that's been a thing in TF2 forever, and they've accidentally broken it several times and fixed it, realizing that it was a good thing to have, and then they just got rid of it. Just because reasons. Because Valve. You know, like, I hate that. Like, come on. Just put it, make, like, it's fine to have that as a thing, but make this a default. Like, this should always be a thing. Because of the stupid way spawns work in this game, where any class can get put at any spawn, this is a great equalizer. Sure, it saves a few seconds on the rollout, and it makes rollouts look way cooler, and that's all fine and dandy. But just from a, I don't want to be playing TFRNG, like, this is an like the pre-round freeze period is an equalizer. It lets the demos get to the same spot. It lets the roamers get closer to the pockets get closer to the door with their equalizers. Like, this makes things even. And unless you're like overhauling the way the spawn room works, just put this back on, please. Just trust me, just put it back on, Valve. Like, that's just stupid. Fix the bicycle not melting proper, whatever. Spy class. Add an advanced option to batched overhead combat text. Yeah, great. So moving on, performance improvements, Mac and Linux, lovely, great, good job, TF2 team. I'm happy with that. Manpower changes, whatever. Yeah. So there were some other performance issues that weren't just Macs and stuff, and I really like, good job, Valve. Like, performance issues shouldn't be a thing in a game this old. It's just a matter of not breaking stuff. And so it makes me really happy to read stuff like reduced memory consumption by 500 megs. It makes me happy to see, we got rid of the frame rate stuttering. Like, that's awesome, and I appreciate that. As for kind of like closing thoughts, though, on this update, most of the things in this update are really good. Like, don't get me wrong, I sat on the things that I complained about more than I sat on the things that were like, yeah, it's pretty freaking good, yay. But that's just because, like, it's harder to explain why I don't like something rather than just say, yeah, that's fine, next weapon. So all of the weapons that promote team play, like the Jarate and Mad Milk and Conch and all that stuff, and, a really improved medic class, like, that stuff's all awesome, and it's going to make matchmaking a better experience, in my opinion. But there were some stupid things in this update. I'm not going to pretend like this was the perfect best update ever. And I really appreciate that Valve is still supporting this game. And I really love that they're still interested in balancing and making the game better. But please, for the love of golly goodness, like, I don't know, fix the stuff that I talked about. Like, nobody from Valve is watching this, but, like, I want everybody to, like, at least realize, like, all the players at least should realize some of those things that they changed are just not great. But, overall, this update's like 7.5 out of 10, and I'm usually, like, the average update for me is like a 6.5 out of 10, so I'm happy with this. And, if prior Smithsmisses have been any indication, this is only part of the update, and, there might be more stuff to come. I know that all the cosmetic cases and stuff, like, we're yet to find out about what's in there, I think. I don't know. I'm not big into that scene. Hopefully we get matchmaking soon. That's all I have to say. Thanks, Valve, I guess. Really, TF2 is awesome. So, yeah. That was only half an hour. That's pretty decent. Like, turn on your, you just go surfing and stuff during that. Well, it's too late now. You've already gotten to the end of the video. Okay, bye.